Hello, I'm Justin Porter. Welcome to my channel. It's the 18th of December 2021. I haven't made a video for about 2 months. And the title of this video is Nobody Knows. Nobody knows, And I wasn't going to make any videos again after a year of making videos from September 2020 to September 2021. I had 46 subscribers in a year. I had 2,093 views on my 70 videos. I did about 70 videos on all aspects of the Bible, why I don't believe in the Bible, why I'm like an atheist agnostic, but now I'm more of an atheist. And I've stopped looking for meaning in life. And I've come to the conclusion that maybe there is no meaning to life and no purpose to life. Maybe, just maybe, it's the human mind that seeks meaning and purpose in everything. And maybe the universe doesn't have to explain itself to us. And maybe the universe never will explain why it's there. All we can understand is the mechanics of how it works, but not the why it's there, because the universe doesn't have to explain itself. So to me, the beginning of wisdom, if you want to really be wise, stop looking for meaning in life and purpose, because maybe there isn't any, and that's why humankind hasn't discovered it. I'm an atheist now, and I say that word because I'm proud of it. A lot of people are very offended if you use the word atheist. I used to say agnostic. People aren't offended. If you say you're an agnostic, people don't get offended because, he's agnostic, he doesn't know what to believe in, he doesn't know. But when you say you're an atheist, they really look at you offendedly, like, what? What about the intelligent design in nature? The eye, the bird's wing, the brain. There must be a designer. Maybe nature is the designer with evolution. Mother Nature is the designer. And Mother Nature doesn't have a mind like us, and it's just the human invention to create a god or a toy maker, like the watchmaker. Must be a watchmaker if there's a complicated watch. But maybe Mother Nature is just the designer and just designs things, with evolution. So nobody knows, and that's the title of the video on the 18th of December 2021. And tonight, my beautiful wife, Nicole, my beautiful Jehovah's Witness wife, Nicole, we've been married for 24 years. She's a beautiful wife, and she's a fully fledged Jehovah's Witness. She believes in the religion 100%. We get on really well. I'm an atheist and she's a Jehovah's Witness. I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness, and we get on really well as long as we don't talk religion. And she knows where I stand, and I know where she stands, so we try not to bring up the subject, and we get on pretty well. But tonight, my wife Nicole has been invited to one of my very good friends' houses for dinner. Now, my very good friend, I won't mention his name, he's an elder. He's been an elder for a lot of years, and his wife, and another elder that just lives down the street, and his wife, and they're beautiful people. Don't get me wrong, Jehovah's Witnesses are very beautiful people. I love them very much, but they've just been misled. They've just been misled by religion, like so many people around the world have been misled by religion in the name of God. And they shunned me, so of course I wasn't invited. They would have liked to have me, but because the governing body in New York City, Stephen Lett, Tony Morris, David Splane, Gerald Loach, Jeffrey Jackson, Kenneth Cook, Samuel Hurd, have all said, do not invite Justin around for dinner because he is an evil apostate. So it's those 8 dudes in New York City that said I can't get invited to my friend's house. He would love to have me around, but if he has me around for dinner and people find out, he will be disfellowshipped for feeding a apostate. So it's not them I'm angry with. I feel sorry for them. They're just victims of a religious cult. And their leaders are 8 fat dudes in New York City. Not knocking fat people. Hey, I'm fat. I'm kind of fat, so hey. Fat people can pick on other fat people because I'm kind of fat, you know. So, yeah, those 8 dudes in New York City. And so it's very interesting. I say I'm an atheist. Well, why aren't you an agnostic? Well, I don't believe in any of the man-made religions. Why don't you believe in Jesus? He's in the book. We even base the year of his birth, you know. The year is on Jesus' birth. Well, you know, the Egyptians had a resurrection god called Osiris, and the Romans had a resurrection god called Mithras, who rose from the dead on the 3rd day, and they used to eat bread and beer and wine representing the body. And I believe that Jesus is an invention of the Romans. Yes, Jesus is an invention of the Roman Empire to pacify the Jews. To pacify the Jews, turn the other cheek, love your enemies, pay back Caesar's things to Caesar. So Jesus was invented to pacify the Jews. And if there really was a Jesus, which was rather a common name, he may have been crucified and things, but he may have been a magician or something. There may have been a Jesus, we don't really know. But, you know, that's the way it stands, you know. And you ever heard of, I just discovered a new word, a deist. You have atheist who don't believe in God, agnostic, a theist, somebody who believes in God. But you ever heard the word deist? Well, deists are people who believe that God made everything. Yes, everything was created by God, but God doesn't care. God couldn't give a stuff about you or me or the animals. He's just created the earth and just gone off in the universe and forgotten he's made us. So he made everything but couldn't give a stuff. Oh, all I wanted was a garden. All I wanted was a garden in Eden. So I made a garden. I hate gardening. I hate gardening. Gardener. Here, Adam, gardener, because I hate gardening. Yep, gardener. And when the trouble, and then Adam was lonely. Oh, Eve, pull a rib, make Eve. That's when the trouble started, when Eve came. It was just like, Adam was going okay until Eve came. And how do you think Adam would have reacted to Eve? Looking at Eve and looking down at her. What are these? What are these 2 things here? What? Where'd you get them? Where'd you get them lumps? Where'd you get them lumps? So, he made Eve out of a rib. God hates gardening, made Adam. Garden. Oh, well, put an apple tree in there. They sinned. Their problem. I'll leave the universe. Go. Head off. Leave them for a couple of thousand years. Oh, the solution. Bronze Age Palestine. Bronze Age Palestine. I'll send my son, torture him on the earth. The whole thing settled. I'll torture my son and then I'll forgive Adam and Eve's grandchildren for something they didn't do. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. That's why the whole Christianity thing does not make sense for me. Why torture your son for the human race when Adam and Eve's children didn't eat the apple? Great-grandchildren didn't eat the apple. Why punish them with 6,000 years of history? Why not just forgive them? Who's the silly one that put the apple tree in the garden in the first place? That's what I say. So I don't believe in the Christian story. It really is a silly story. I don't believe in it. So, but deists believe that God made everything, but he couldn't give a stuff. He's just left the universe. He's gone somewhere else, so many light years away, and he couldn't care less about humanity. But he did make us, but doesn't care. He's not loving. He's very selfish. He just wants to go out and make more gardens around the universe, but create more gardeners. He just does not like gardens or apple trees, you know. So that's all I've got to say with that one. And the question, because I haven't been invited for dinner tonight, am I angry? No, I'm not. I'm kind of, I didn't really want to go because I know that, you know, 5 people who believe in the Bible against one atheist, they would gang up on me. So I would be preaching atheism, which I, funny enough, do. Since I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness, I sort of talk to people about how I'm an atheist and how happy I am and how liberated I am about being an atheist, and, you know. But, yeah. Now, to me, the saddest thing about religion is it divides people. You're not in our tribe, you're not in our group, you don't believe in our brand of religion, you can't join our tribe, we'll kick you out. If you want to come back into our tribe, you have to believe in what we believe in, because it's the group think. It's the group think. So the saddest thing, to me, the saddest thing about all religion, is that it stops us from enjoying the main course. The main course is this life. This life is the main course. You know, not the entree. A lot of religious people think this life is just the entree. The main course is life after death. The afterlife is the main course. And we should deny ourselves everything for that afterlife. So it stops us from living this one life that we know we have and we're guaranteed of. That we're not guaranteed everlasting life. Look, it'd be nice if there was something. I would love to have a pet panda and a pet tiger and see my dead mother and my dead sister and be young again. I would love that. And build a house on the coast and live there forever and surf every day and play with pandas. That's a beautiful teaching. So the way I look at it is that's the saddest thing about religion. It stops us from enjoying the one and only life that we know we really do have for maybe a non-existent afterlife. There may not be any life after death. All the evidence points to none. And Jehovah's Witnesses believe in the resurrection of the dead. Well, the Egyptians used to believe in Osiris, the resurrection of the dead god. The Romans used to believe in Mithras, the resurrection of the dead god. The Jews used to believe in a resurrection, you know. So I firmly believe in life before death. So I believe in life before death. And this is the life. I can prove there is life before death because I'm living. I'm not dead yet. So the way I look at it, if anyone says they have the answers to life's mysteries, we know because it's in the Bible, it's in the Quran, it's in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, it's in the Bhagavad Gita, it's in the Book of Mormon. If anyone says they have the answers to life's mysteries and the meaning of life, it's all in this ancient book. Liars. How could anyone know the meaning of life? Nobody knows the meaning of life. Nobody knows. Nobody knows the purpose of life, the meaning of life. Just enjoy life. Accept it. Stop looking for meaning in life because there may not be any meaning. There may not be any purpose. Mother Nature it's just here. Accept it, you know. So as I said, you know, so I do believe in life before death. And my beautiful wife, Nicole, I have witnessed to her about atheism a few times, why I'm an atheist and why I don't believe in the Jehovah's Witness religion or any man-made religion for that matter. And she sort of goes blank and puts her fingers in her ears, and there's no way I can ever wake her up. But hopefully she's going to be with 2 elders tonight and their wives. So 4's company, 5's a crowd. Four's company, five's a crowd. So hopefully she'll hear something or they'll say something to her that will ring a bell and wake her up and think, my husband's nice. I treat my wife lovingly. I'm kind. I don't act like her head. I'm her equal. I always try to be as kind and nice and listening, and I don't try not to bag her religion out because I kind of bag out all religion. It's not just Jehovah's Witnesses, it's all kind of religion, because religion divides people into different tribes. You're not in our tribe. You don't believe in our God. God's with us. He's not with your tribe. He's with our tribe. And that's always been through history. So hopefully my wife wakes up tonight and just sees like something's not right. What I've found, I watch a lot of ex-Jehovah's Witness videos, and it's not so much doctrine or anything that people leave religion. It's usually the way people have been treated. What woke me up in 2015, I went to a funeral and of the dear 80-year-old pioneer sister that Nikki and I knew very well. We used to give a lift to the meetings, and she was in our field service group, in our book study. And the elders said at her funeral, don't talk to her daughter. Don't talk to Grace's daughter. She's disfellowshipped. Now, we'd never met Grace's daughter, and she was about 40, and I thought, that's so wrong. Shunning somebody at their own mother's funeral, and that's terrible. And I ignored that bit of counsel, and I talked to Grace's daughter. I kind of got roused on for doing it after. We told you not to talk to Grace's daughter. She's disfellowshipped, an elder said. And I love the elder very much, but it's not him, it's those 8 dudes in New York City: Tony Morris, Stephen Lett, Gerard Lose, David Splain, Mark Sanderson, Kenneth Cook, Jeffrey Jackson, Samuel Hurd, those cronies. So he was just being a good elder, and I've got nothing against him. He was just carrying out orders, And that really woke me up, and I think, how can you shun somebody at their own mother's funeral? She was born into this religion and decided it wasn't for her, and she left it for some unknown reason. I don't know if she got disfellowshipped or dissociated or why she left, but I'm not going to shun her at her own mother's funeral. And then I went to another funeral, and the elder's daughter was there, and she was about 20-something, and she was disfellowshipped. And the elder that told me not to talk to Grace's daughter was at the funeral, and I shunned his daughter. I shunned an elder's daughter. She's about 25, and I knew her. And she was in tears, not just because her grandfather had died. She was at a funeral. Not only had her grandfather died, but she was being shunned at her grandfather's funeral. And I shunned her too. And I felt really bad about it, and it really got me thinking. And then I looked up on YouTube the Royal Australian Commission into Childhood sex cover-ups by the Watchtower and Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania, Propriety Limited, how in Australia alone, in this country, Australia alone, there's been 1,006 cases of pedophilia in Jehovah's Witness organisations since 1950. Not one of those 1,006 cases was reported to the police. And that works out at 43 cases of child molestation a year from 1950 to 2015, when the Royal Commission was on, that have not been reported to the police. And I thought, that's wrong. That's a crime, and they're covering up child abuse. And after bagging out the Catholic Church for child abuse, they've been covering up the same. They've been doing the same thing as the Catholic Church. And also the 2-witness rule: when a child is molested, you have to have 2 witnesses to it. No child molester molests a child with anyone around, so there's no witnesses. So this is a very unsafe environment for children, not safe for children, really. And also the blood doctrine. My wife had a stent put in her stomach a month ago between her pancreas and her spleen, a very risky operation. And she said to me, Justin, my Jehovah's Witness wife said to me, Justin, if you ever give me blood, I will divorce you. I will divorce you if you ever give me blood. And so she had a medical directive signed by the elders and signed by her doctor, overriding me. And on the medical directive, it says, is there anybody you don't want involved with your medical treatment? And she wrote, Justin Porter, my husband. I don't want him involved. Because if it worse comes to worse and she needed a blood transfusion to live, I would give her a blood transfusion. Because we only have one guaranteed life. This is the main course, this life. There may not be any dessert of everlasting life. That dessert may not ever come. This is the main course. There may not be any dessert. There might be life after death. We don't know. Nobody's come back. We really don't know. But fortunately, it was written on her medical directive, and when she had her operation, not even the elders were at the hospital, but a sister, her very best friend, who lives out west, was at the hospital as to make sure she didn't get a blood transfusion. Now, I love this sister. I love this sister very much. And she was there making sure Nikki didn't get a blood transfusion. And I was in two minds because I thought, hey, I used to be a Jehovah's Witness, and I used to believe the same thing about blood transfusions. If I reject a blood transfusion and die, I'm guaranteed a better resurrection. So I don't want to lose my wife through divorce. I don't want her to leave me, but I don't want her to die from not having a blood transfusion. And I rang up her father, Graham, who was not a Jehovah's Witness, and I told him that, I would give her a blood transfusion if I could, but there's a medical directive, and even the doctors said to me, look, Mr. Porter, we cannot give her blood because she signed a medical directive, and we can't give her blood because that's signed, and and I was really scared she was going to die. And if she died, I would have been so angry at those 8 governing body members, just the whole religion, not at the elders, not at the, just those guys in New York who run the whole religion. 8 dudes in New York, They should change the 2-witness rule when it comes to childhood molestation. They should change the blood doctrine and the shunning. The shunning policy is the only reason why I make these videos. If I wasn't being shunned in the supermarket, not being invited to my friend's dinner party, barbecue, not invited out west to our friend's house because I'm no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses, just because I changed my religion, I'm not being invited anywhere, people ignore me, and I'm not the only one. All you ex-Jehovah's Witnesses know that you're being shunned too, and if you are a Jehovah's Witness listening to this video, if you ever leave the religion, you'll be shunned too. But life is very good outside the religion. I've never felt happier, actually. I mean, I hate the shunning. It's the only thing it gets me down. It does get me down, the shunning. But there's so many other benefits of not being a Jehovah's Witness. You can, if you're a young person, you can go to higher education and get a good job. You can grow a beard if you want. You can have long hair. You can listen to any type of music or listen to movies. You can still be a good person. You can donate to charities, not just the Watchtower. And you can be a good person, a good law-abiding citizen. And I've also given up drinking. I don't drink alcohol anymore. Can you believe that? I do not drink alcohol. I gave it up. When I was a Jehovah's Witness, I used to get so depressed that I wasn't good enough, that God was going to destroy me at Armageddon because I wasn't quite up to scratch. Most Jehovah's Witnesses feel that way. They're not quite good enough. Missing meetings or not going out in all the field service. I never was an elder, never a ministerial servant. Jehovah's Witness for 22 years, And 1988, back in 1988 when I was 27 in 1988, I was a full-on pothead. I was smoking marijuana nearly every day. I smoked cigarettes. I was born into an atheist family. My family are atheists. We were agnostic atheists, I suppose. Never went to church, my family. And knock on the door. It was September 1988. I was 27 and a half, and 2 Jehovah's Witnesses were at the door. And I asked them, what happens to us when we die? That's what I wanted to know. What happens to us when we die? And they showed me that the dead were sleeping and awaiting a resurrection back on earth. And to me that was so appealing because when I was 1.5, in 1962, when I was 1, my mother died at the age of 30. Now, my mother died of an asthma attack at the age of 30. And I was 27 when they knocked on the door. And just the thought of being reunited with my mother back on earth with a panda bear thrown in and a lion, that was so appealing to me. So appealing, I just thought, wow, how good's this? But funny enough, I was a marijuana smoker, a cigarette smoker. I'd look at porn. I'd watch porn. I'd listen to Alice Cooper, Elton John. I couldn't give up those things. So I was POMI. Now, POMI is physically out, mentally in. So from 1988, I was studying. I wanted to give up marijuana, wanted to give up cigarettes to see my dead mother again. And I stopped my study, started it, stopped it, started it, couldn't give up marijuana, couldn't give up cigarettes, couldn't give up porn. And I was so depressed, that God's going to destroy me at Armageddon. I'm not going to see my dead mother because I can't give up these things. This religion is too restrictive. I can't listen to Elton John, can't listen to Alice Cooper, and it really, really depressed me. And I remember in 1990, when I was 29, there was a talk, if you want to see your dead loved ones again in the paradise earth, you have to give up drugs, your lifestyle, no looking at porn. You had to actually not listen to Elton John's music or Alice Cooper's music or Black Sabbath or celebrate Christmas. And I thought, I can't do this. So I was POMI, physically out, mentally in, and I stopped going to the meetings. I don't want to study anymore. God's going to destroy me. I remember sitting in the Kingdom Hall, bawling my eyes out in 1990, bawling my eyes out because God's going to destroy me at Armageddon, and I'm not going to see my dead mother again or my dead dad. And I was bawling my eyes out, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And what a cruel religion. If you want to see your dead mother again, or your dead child, or your dead husband, or your dead wife again, you have to knock on doors. You have to go to all the meetings. You can't look at porn. You can't fall in love with someone who's not a Jehovah's Witness. You can't fall in love with someone of the same gender. You can't fall in love with anyone unless they're a Jehovah's Witness. So your only marriage mate you can ever have is a Jehovah's Witness. No sex before marriage. No same-sex marriage. No marrying someone of a different religion. You meet a nice atheist girl, and you can't marry her, she's atheist. You can only marry Jehovah's Witness. So very, very restrictive, very restrictive. But I'm very lucky I found Nikki, and in 1994, my big sister committed suicide. My big sister was an atheist. And I used to preach to my big sister all the time about Jehovah and living forever and I'd preach to my sister about the resurrection of the dead, and you'll see your dead mother again. And she goes, but you're smoking marijuana and you're smoking tobacco. Give up marijuana and give up tobacco, she said. Then you can preach to me. And in 1994, my sister committed suicide. My sister committed suicide in 1994 at the age of 36, and I was 33. And I changed. I gave up cigarettes. I changed my life. I gave up drugs. I got baptized as Jehovah's Witness in 1996 when I was 35 years old. And I was happy. For 22 years, from 1996, the age of 35, I got baptized, to 22 years later, to the year 2018, when I dissociated. At the age of 57, I dissociated from Jehovah's Witnesses. And before I dissociated, for 3 years, from 2015, when I had to shun people at a funeral, that daughter of this woman, I had to shun her at the funeral, 2 funerals, I had to shun twice at 2 different funerals. Jehovah's Witnesses, you get invited to heaps of weddings and heaps of funerals, And 3 years of doing research into the religion, John Cedars channel, I give a big shout out to John Cedars, Lloyd Evans, JT and Lady C on Critical Thinker, and also who's that? The other girl, yours truly, Trudy. I think her name's Trudy. She's American. She just posted a video the other day. What's her name? But a big shout out to her, Trudy. I think her name's Trudy. Blonde-headed girl, and she had a dog called Rio. Who just died recently. Big shout out to you, Trudy. Is that your name, Trudy? You started posting videos in 2017. And your YouTube channel's called Freedom? Truly Freedom or something? Trudy? But yeah, big shout out to you. You got a dog called Rio, and I love your videos. And Lloyd Evans, JT Critical Thinker, Christian and Katya Gutierrez, their channel, Living the Second Chance. So I watched 3 years of apostate videos, found out the apostates were telling the truth, they weren't lying, and I dissociated because I thought September 2018, it's been 30 years I've been brainwashed by Jehovah's Witnesses. So from 1988, the age of 27, to 1994, I was pony, like physically out, mentally in. I was taking drugs and smoking. I used to actually smoke marijuana and witness to my marijuana friends and witness to them. And they say Jehovah's Witnesses aren't supposed to smoke marijuana. I said, well, I'll be destroyed at Armageddon. But Jehovah really does love me, and he may not destroy me. Just because I smoke marijuana, he may not destroy me. They say, you can't preach to us until you give up marijuana, then preach to us, So I was POMI from 1988 to probably 1993 I gave up cigarettes, and then I got baptized in 1996. So I wasn't brought up in the religion. I'm one of those ones that got sucked into the religion because I wanted to see my dead mother again right here on earth. I wanted to have a pet panda bear and see my dead mother and my dead father. My father committed suicide when I was 8 years old and he was 38 years old. My mother died when I was 1. She was only 30. So it's such a beautiful teaching. You're going to see your dead loved ones right here on earth. I thought, what a beautiful thing, So I got sucked into that. I believed it straight away. In 1988, I was brainwashed into the religion, but I was POMI, physically out. I was taking drugs and cigarettes and looking at porn and things, So it's really weird. It's really weird, isn't it? And crying in 1990 because I can't give up tobacco. And this brother and sister came up to me in the Kingdom Hall. Why are you crying? Come outside, Justin. Said in 1990, bawling my eyes out because I wasn't going to see my dead mother again at the Kingdom Hall. I can't see my dead mother again because I can't give up marijuana and cigarettes and looking at porn, you know. They said, come outside and we'll talk. And I was sobbing my eyes out. And they said, look, Justin, Jehovah loves you. It'll take time. You'll get there. You know, he loves you. He knows you're trying. I know, but it's been so many years. I'm still smoking dope and I'm not living up to it and blah, 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 you know. So what happened? I did get baptised in 1996, at the age of 35. And then 22 years later, I dissociated at the age of 57. After I dissociated, I went to 7 different churches here in Beaudesert. I went to the Catholic Church, the Harvest Point Church, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, the Uniting Church, the Lutheran Church, 7 of them. What other ones did I go to? Oh, there was St. Anglican, Uniting, Harvest Point, which is Pentecostal, Speaking in Tongues. The Catholics said they were the right religion because we started in Rome. Pentecostal Church said we're the right religion because we speak in tongues and we have the gifts of the Spirit. Seventh-day Adventist Church said we're the ones because we celebrate the Sabbath. We obey Jehovah on the 4th commandment, the Sabbath. And the Uniting Church says, well, we unite. Lutheran Church, I was going to take the bread and the wine, and he said, you a confirmed Lutheran? I said, no. The priest said, oh, no, you can't take the bread and wine if you're not a confirmed Lutheran. And I thought, it sounds like another religion I know, you know. So I just did, and thought they're all wrong. They all think they're the right one. The Catholics think they're the right ones. The Pentecostals think they're the right ones. The Seventh-day Adventists think all the others are crazy, but we're the ones because we don't work on the Sabbath. Catholics think they're the ones because we're the original one that started in Rome, you know. So they all think they're the best one, and they all think the others are wrong. And I think they're all wrong. It's either only one of them's right, or the thousands of religions around the world, only one of them's right and the rest are all wrong, or they're all wrong. They're all wrong. And I believe that all religions are wrong. They've got it wrong. Mother Nature designed us through evolution, and there's no reason, there's no purpose in life, no reason, but the only reason for life is to enjoy it. So enjoy your life. That's your purpose, to enjoy life. Have fun, be nice, be kind, don't judge others, and maybe there is life after death. There may be no God, and there may be life after death. Ever think of that? No God, life after death, you know? Or there could be a God, but no life after death. We don't know. We just don't know. No one. But if there is a God, he's a very unloving God, a very uncaring God. He's like a deist God. He couldn't give a stuff. God couldn't give a stuff about you or me. He made the universe and has forgotten about us. The deist. If anything, that type of God, maybe there's one like that, you know, but he's not a loving God. If he's loving God, thanks for the coronavirus, God. A marvel of creation, the coronavirus. Paper wasp. I got stung on the back the other day, a paper wasp. So it feels like electric shock, bit welt on the back of my neck. My wife got stung by a paper wasp on the back of the neck 3 days before. Paper wasp. Marvel of creation. Thank you, God, for making the paper wasp so he stung me on the back of the neck. Thank you for the funnel web spider. Thank you for the coronavirus, God. A marvel of creation. I don't think so. If he did make those things, it's not a very loving thing to do. And it's not a very loving thing to put an apple tree in the middle of the Garden of Eden. Putting an apple tree in the... when you say, everything I've made is good, everything is made is good, I'll put the apple tree, put the apple tree in the middle of the garden, the forbidden fruit, the knowledge of good and bad. So he did make something bad. He made the forbidden fruit, the knowledge of good and bad. I'll put the tree of the knowledge of good and bad. Would you do that? Would you put a little baby in a room, a little toddler in a room with a hand grenade, with a little teddy bear on the hand grenade? Don't touch the hand grenade, Junior, or you'll blow up. Put a teddy bear on it, and then Satan, the devil. Go on, see if you can tempt Adam and Eve, Satan. Go on, you read the book of Job. Satan says, oh, Job only worships you because you give him this and that, and take